right, joining me now to break down some of the week one college football action and to kick around a couple other topics is a man who's currently hitting at 100% with his best bets so far this college football season. Small sample size at just 1-0, but a sample size does need to start somewhere. Welcome to the program, Brad Powers. Brad, how you making out?
Hey, doing well. It's all gravy on that big 1-0 start. But let's hopefully we can keep it rolling here in the week one.
Hell yeah, let's keep it going. Okay, so for those of you who are new around here, Brad will be joining the show every Monday and Thursday. On Monday, we do a little bit of a recap of the weekend. I throw a couple of random questions at him and, of course, get into some early best bets. Then on Thursday, we might add a couple more best bets, but we discuss the biggest games of the weekend, and we do have some big games here in week one. Great job by the schedule makers. And if you are new around here, make sure you are subscribed to the Covers YouTube channel. A lot of great content coming up with the NFL starting too in less than about a week and a half here. Okay, so let's get into what we saw on the weekend, Brad. Week 0, just 5 games. Any big thoughts, any strong opinions, big takeaways from what we saw?
Well, I'm just thinking of one, because you mentioned the Hawaii game. Keep an eye on quarterback Micah Alihado for Hawaii, who was limping badly in the second half of that game. I know Hawaii ended up winning, but keep an eye on his status this week at Arizona. I don't know if I'll just put it this way. There's a greater than 0% chance he might not play this week. But big picture, let's talk about the best bet. And I'm not looking to toot my own horn here, but in those 5 games, I saw a lot of sloppy, dumb football, particularly the Kansas State, Iowa State game and the Hawaii Stanford game. Where I didn't see a lot of sloppiness was Kansas, who looked pretty buttoned up, 0 turnovers. Their quarterback, Jalen Daniels, 18 out of 20, looked like the Heisman candidate player that he was a couple years ago prior to injury. They have 2 new coordinators. The game plans look solid. A 31-7 win. That was pretty textbook. That they were the most impressive team to me as far as week 0.
Okay, one of the stories out of the weekend, Bryce Underwood, probably not much of a shock, named starter at Michigan. Just turned 18 last week, so this is a very young guy. How do you feel about Underwood as a player? And your thoughts on Michigan? What do you think their ceiling is for this season?
Yeah, I mean, how can you not like Underwood, at least of the true freshman quarterbacks? I mean, he's the highest rated quarterback recruit in the history of Michigan football. And last I checked, they've been playing football a long time there in a storied program. It's twofold. I mean, obviously he's still a true freshman, but it's also, let's compare to what they had last year in Michigan. And what they had was, outside of the service academies, the worst passing offense in college football. So even though he's a true freshman, even though he just turned 18, I expect Michigan's passing game to be much better this year. And if they went 7-5 with a terrible passing attack, then I think the chances are likely that they're definitely going to be better than 7-5 this year. However, a couple places have the win total at 9.5. To me, I bet under 9.5. If Michigan's going to beat me with a true freshman quarterback with a schedule that features 6 road games for Michigan, they haven't played 6 road games since 1998. So they got to go 10-2 to beat me. So I'm on under 9.5.
Okay, last week news came out that the Big Ten was floating the idea of a 24 or 28 team playoff. I think I know how you feel about this one. So the model would involve eliminating conference title games and awarding more auto bids for the 4 power conferences. Now, on one hand, you might be able to argue that it creates more meaningful games, but on the other hand, can we settle down here? We just got this to 12. Now people want to double it already. What would your thoughts be on doubling this, or maybe even going to 28 teams?
I think it's a joke. I think it'd be a horrific idea that would ultimately hurt college football significantly over the course of time. I don't know how serious it is. If you ask some people, they are serious about it. But I don't think anybody wants to see 8-4 Iowa, 8-4 South Carolina make a playoff. No disrespect to those programs. It's just, I mean, the thing that's made college football unique and why I've liked college football always, there's a sense of urgency with college football because, I mean, for most of its history, you lose a game, you might be out. You lose 2 games, you're definitely out. Now that's changed here in the last year. Let's let the 12-team playoff, work for 5-10 years, see how it works. But I do think they're expanding at some point. I just don't. I mean, 24 to 28 is a joke to me. And you're also, you're kind of, the teams that do actually go 11-1, 12-0 in the regular season, and they still got to play 4 or 5 more games, you're hurting them.
Yeah, let's not water down the regular season here. Let's give the new playoff a bit of time to breathe here. Okay, something fun here, a fun debate for the people out there on social media. I'm sure some will agree with you, and some might call you an idiot. Last week we talked about the best quarterbacks in college football. Who do you have as your top 3 head coaches in college football right now?
Well, I mean, it always depends on the criteria. I mean, the easy answer is Kirby Smart, Dabo, Ryan Day, because they've all won national championships. To me, though, since we deal with point spreads, I'm a big believer on who exceeds expectations, expectations being the point spread. And historically, guys like who gets the most out of their programs that they're at. And if they're at multiple programs, guys like Kalen DeBoer didn't have a good year last year at Alabama, but that was the outlier. And we'll see how he does this year. I'm really high on Alabama this year. Willie Fritz is a Houston coach, but he's been at 4 or 5 different places throughout his career. He's won everywhere he's been. Hell, he won a Sugar Bowl game with Tulane, beating USC a couple years ago. Kyle Whittingham at Utah has been one of the most stable, productive coaches in college football the last 2 decades. Lance Leipold for Kansas is one of the best coaches. This is a big year because I like to look at how you do against the spread. The best coach in the country the last 3 years against the spread, believe it or not, Marcus Freeman, covering 70% of his games. This is a big year because expectations are higher for them. If he continues that trend, you ask me this question next year, Joe, I might tell you Marcus Freeman.
Let's go. Okay, one fun one here before we get into the best bets of the week. A fun futures option over at FanDuel. They have odds up for teams to have an undefeated season. They have 11 teams with odds inside of 10-1. Penn State, Notre Dame, Ohio State, Clemson, Georgia, Liberty, Oregon, Texas, Alabama, Boise State, and Miami. Do you like any of those? Is there anything that stands out to you as, hey, this is the best bet for one of these teams to run the table?
Yeah, I wish I had a best bet for you out of this, Joe, because it's a good question. I think the odds are good. I mean, let's give credit to the sports book because, my highest projected win totals are Penn State and Notre Dame. They happen to be the shortest odds listed there. I'll go with the team that has the best chance to do it. I'll go with Penn State, even though they'll be an underdog at Ohio State. It's just they'll be a significant favorite in every one of their other games. I will say if Notre Dame beats Miami in the opener, they're going to be a touchdown plus favorite in every game. If that Miami game wasn't an opener for a brand new quarterback, I would say slam dunk. It's Notre Dame's got by far the best chance, but I don't have a best bet in there. And I'll say this, here's my best bet. I don't think anybody's going 12-0 in the regular season this year.
Yeah, a little bit of parody. We like that. Okay, best bet time. Before we get into Brad's, I invite the viewers, drop your best bets. Call your shot. Drop them in the comment section right down there. Let us know why. Give us a little bit of a write-up. Who do you like here? Loaded schedule here in week 1, Brad. The schedule makers did a fantastic job. A bunch of games on Thursday and Friday as well. We have 2 best bets. Let's start on Thursday. We have NC State and East Carolina getting after it, an 11.5-point spread. You thinking favorite or are you thinking underdog here?
I'm thinking favorite. And number one for me, this is one of my biggest power ratings disparity. It's very similar to the Kansas-Fresno game where the market, I just disagree with the market move over the summer. East Carolina's taking some money in the market like Fresno State did last week. I disagree. So to me, in a situation like this, you have 2 in-state programs. It's kind of a big brother, little brother situation here with NC State being the big brother and East Carolina being the little brother. What is the motivation for margin for big brother? I'll tell you it. These 2 teams just played in their very last game. They played in the bowl game. East Carolina won the game. They pulled the outright upset. I think all offseason NC State will be focused, a rare time that they're focused for an in-state little brother rival here. And I think East Carolina, generally speaking, panicked. They made a panic move as far as hiring the interim coach, making him the permanent coach. They had an easy schedule down the stretch last year. And then, oh, wow, the feel-good vibes. They beat NC State in a meaningless bowl game. So NC State for me. If they got their heads on straight, they're the much better team. I made this line 14.
Hell yeah. Okay, let us move to Friday night. We have UNLV, Sam Houston getting after it. A total 60.5. Are you feeling a shootout in this one, Brad?
I am. Let's go over. And thankfully, we have data points for this game because both of these teams just played in week 0. And what we saw was 2 games go over the total. But hopefully the odds makers adjusted. Well, they did adjust a little bit here, but I'm telling you, not enough. There was some hidden stuff in both of those box scores. UNLV against Idaho State. UNLV, the big takeaway was UNLV almost lost the game outright as a 30-point favorite. Game went over the total, but in that game, Idaho State threw an interception in the end zone from the 5-yard line. UNLV quarterback, first drive of the season, fumbled the ball into the end zone, going in. He was 6 inches away from scoring. There was multiple missed field goals in that game. That game should have been much higher scoring than what it was. And then Sam Houston State, also points left on the field there. They're going to score they're from the 1-yard line late in the game looking to get a backdoor cover. They don't score from the 1-yard line. So a little bit of 2 high scoring games last week, 2 games that went over, should have went even further over, creating some value here with 2 teams that are fundamentally different than last year. We still have some last year's numbers baked into this number a little bit. There hasn't been enough adjustment. Let's go over 60.5.
Hell yeah, fun one on Friday night. Okay, Brad, we will leave it at that. Quick reminder to the viewers, make sure you like and are subscribed to this video. And like we said, call your shot in the comments section. What is your best bet of week 1? Brad's going to be back with us on Thursday along with Jake Butt, breaking down the beautiful board, the big, beautiful board here in week 1. I can't wait to get into that. Brad, thank you very much for joining. Best of luck with your handicapping this week.
All right, take care. Good luck.